Wednesday. How are you? And for everyone that had the public holiday on Monday, how crazy is it feeling now that we already have halfway through the week on our hump day and it's only 2 days in and it's a Wednesday? I feel really out of sorts. I've actually been feeling kind of all week like I've got a bit of a hangover or I'm a bit jet lagged. I think just a combination of daylight savings, public holiday at the start of the week, it's kind of just thrown me all completely into whack. So I hope you're coping well. Let me know your secrets for getting used to daylight savings. Like, what is your routine to get over daylight savings? Because the first day I felt I was hungover. The second day I felt like I was jet lagged. So it's just really interesting. Who knows? But we're here. Hey, Clarky, hope you're well. So gang, today I'm going to bust another myth, because often when we talk about things, people think that they're really only related to business owners and that's it. And one of the big ones that I see people shy away from is having a personal brand. And people often say, well, I don't need a personal brand. I don't own my own business. And they think that that personal brand is only for, business owners, entrepreneurs, arty people, anything like that. And I'm going to bust a few myths for you here to why you may need a personal brand or why you should have a personal brand, even if you are an employee. I'm going to give you a couple of tips so that you can take away and see that you can really still have a lot of impact by having a personal brand when you're not an entrepreneur. So first of all, think of having a personal brand like having an insurance policy. Yep, an insurance policy. No matter what you're doing in your life, what your career is going to be, you can take your personal brand with you anywhere. It's your insurance policy. You've created a personal brand. It doesn't matter who you work for, what industry you work in, that personal brand follows you around. It's your value. So if you're an employee, it really is like an insurance policy, and it's really worth investing some time in creating your personal brand even when you are an employee. It really can add value. And here's another thing. When you start to create your own personal brand, you start to be able to have an identity outside of the business that you work for. Sometimes people only have identity in what they work in, which means that they don't really have as much value on face value. So let's just say you have two people working in the one business, same skill set, same qualifications. The difference is one person has a really strong personal brand and one doesn't. On paper, if one was going for a promotion or one decided to leave the business, with that personal branding, their mission and visions and values and message is so strong that that insurance policy is there for them. That gives them the ability to be the one that gets the pay rise, or they have that identity that is separate from the business that they work for. So personal branding for employees is actually very important. So important to have that insurance policy that you can take with you. It'll add value to you. And you know what else? It'll actually give you a lot of clarity. So if you're an employee with clarity and a personal brand, you're actually worth a lot more to the employer as well. And when I talk about clarity, it comes back to what is a personal brand. So think about your personal brand as what people say about you when you're no longer in the room. How did you make them feel? What do they think you stand for? What do you stand for? What's important to you? What are your values? All of those things, what type of impact can you have on the world? All of those things are your personal brand. Now, if you're super clear on those and that they are congruent in every single thing that you do in the office, at work, at home, in your social life, that's a personal brand. If you're super congruent with that and extremely clear in clarity, not only are you more productive, more valuable, more of an asset, allowing you to be individual, but you're actually going through your actions with a lot more fulfillment as well. And it also, if you're very clear on your personal brand, it actually helps you make some really tough decisions in life. Let's just say you were working for a boss who asked you to do something that you felt was made me feel really uncomfortable. Because you're really clear on your personal brand and your values, you can make those decisions based on it. Is this congruent with my values? No, then I don't want to do it. I think it's time to move on, or, explaining why. Where if you are an employee, as part of a team, you may be an amazing team member. But if you're not strong on that clarity and that personal brand, and you don't have that individual uniqueness that makes you you, that you know what people are saying when you leave a room, then you just become part of the noise. You really want to have that uniqueness to really be valuable. That's really where the asset is. And really think of it that way, because so many people think that they don't need a personal brand unless they're going to be a business owner. But it really is your insurance policy, because you just don't know what other opportunities it could have. And when I say these opportunities, they don't always need to be career driven. You may love your job. You may have such a strong personal brand that is really reflective of a love that you have for a certain charity or a sport. And your personal brand allows you to have opportunities or impact in that area that you just wouldn't have. When we think of some of the most important business people or sports people or people in charity, they have so much personal brand, and people really invest in them regardless of what they were doing. And so that personal brand being their insurance policy will follow them no matter where they're going to go. So, personal brand isn't about having a logo or a color. It's about having a message. It's about having values. It's about understanding, being really clear on who you are, and then making sure that you're congruent in those actions at work, at play, at sport, with your family, whatever it is. Congruency is the key to that personal branding as well. So if you're out there thinking that you want to make a little bit more impact in your life, you want to have a little bit more positive influence, whether it be charity, sport, business, anything, really think, am I creating a personal brand? And understanding that that personal brand is your insurance policy. No matter what life throws with you, you can take that personal brand with you anywhere. You do not lose your identity because you have left a business. And having a personal brand gives you so much more opportunities, because people start to invest in who you are and what you say. And just think of it as you want to stand out from the crowd. You might not want to be the center of attention. That's very different. But you want to be unique. And having a personal brand allows you to have that uniqueness. And here's the funny thing about a personal brand. When you actually look deep inside yourself to be able to find out your values and what's important to you to create that personal brand, carrying out your actions in accordance with that personal brand is very easy, because all you're doing is what you believe in. You're not trying to create something that isn't really true to yourself. You're not selling products, you're not selling services, you are just being you, you're being congruent to you and understanding what your message is. And as I said, it's not always about career. There could be a lot of people that are happy in their jobs, but imagine being able to have a personal brand that allowed you to have opportunities in charity. There's someone that I just saw jump online actually that I know has a very strong connection to charities. Hi, Andrew, I'm talking about you. And it's your personal brand that allows you to have that impact and that influence in the work that you do for cancer. Now, that's a personal brand. You are very happy with your job. We all know that, but your personal brand has allowed you to be able to create real influence and impact in that space. So when I say influencers, I'm not talking about people who sell makeup online or use certain hair products. Influencing is not about getting people to do something. It's about getting people to understand and believe in your story. If people like you, they want to connect with you. If they trust you, they want to work with you. That's your personal brand. If you're not a business owner, it is still so important to create so many opportunities, and it's your insurance policy. Think of it that way. No matter what happens in life, it is always going to be truly yours, okay? So that is me for a Wednesday night. I wanted to break another myth, because so many people I meet think that a lot of the things that we mentor is just for the business owners, but it's really not. And don't forget, I mean, most business owners, we started out as employees. It was just those little seeds that we planted. And if you ever get the desire to be an entrepreneur, you want to have these skills. Or if not, you want to understand what your boss or other business owners or family members that are entrepreneurs are thinking and what they need in their life. It just, knowledge can never be a bad thing. So I would really love to see some people that aren't entrepreneurs starting to build their personal brand, and you just never know what opportunities will come at your feet because you're creating impact and influence and you're being so congruent, and you will start to live, this may sound corny, but you will start to live so much more fulfilled, because everything that you do is really at your core of your personal brand and in congruence with your values. So it's super easy to do. Being a little bit vulnerable doesn't hurt. You should try it. It works. And I think it's actually pretty amazing when you see someone who can be strong enough to be vulnerable and show their values. So personal branding, I'm actually giving a talk next week at Young Business Edge. And this made me think of it tonight, because most of the people at Young Business Edge that will be there are, people in business that are under 30, I think it is. So they're mostly going to be employees. And a lot of them didn't understand the importance of personal branding, and they thought it was logos or just for their bosses. And so that was why, one of the reasons that Young Business Edge approached me to speak to them about. And that's why I thought I'd just share a little glimpse of what I'll be workshopping with those budding entrepreneurs. And there's a lot of people going to those events that are working in professional services, so accountants and lawyers and all of those things, and at university, and explaining to them the importance now, especially so early in your age, of creating that personal brand, because moving into the future, your personal brand is going to be with you forever. Yes, it can evolve. Yes, your values are going to change, especially if you have families and things like that. But really understanding that setting that up is key. You want that promotion over someone else, that's how you're going to get it, because you have more clarity, you have more visual, you are more important, people can see exactly what it is that you're all about. So, hi everybody for jumping on. So, personal branding. If you are not an entrepreneur, you still need a personal brand, and it is your insurance policy, okay? Everyone, thanks for jumping on. I didn't really have a chance to say g'day to everyone. So if you're watching it on the replay later, drop a comment and let me know. Amazing to see you all jump on. I really want to follow you all and see how you go with those personal branding, because it allows me to connect with you if you have a personal brand, and it allows your public, your audience, those opportunities to connect with you. That's what creates opportunities in life and connections and fulfillment, okay? It is more than a font. It is more than working for someone else. All right, gang, that's Wednesday and I'm done. I'll see you soon.